Hey everybody, it's Anakinnnn, and here I am trying to get back to those daily videos that you guys are always looking for. So here's what we got today. We've got a headquarters match on Black Ops. Boy, did you see that tomahawk fly right by me? Anyway, I got lucky right there. Anyway, we've got a headquarters match. You know, not too many people seem to play the headquarters game style. You know, for whatever reason, it used to be the game mode that I played just all the time back in Modern Warfare 2. And my buddy Big Dog was like, "Hey, you know, we got a crew going for headquarters tonight." I'm like, "Well, all right, I'm game for that." So I went ahead and jumped on in with them. Played I don't know, 5, 8 games, somewhere around there. Had a good time. We did pretty well. And this is one of the maps that I really felt we had a pretty good time on. It was really, really nasty for the other team. We kept things moving pretty well. And watch this, too. This is really, somebody pulled a fast one on us on this first headquarters. There we are, okay? We all go out and we all wait, and we're going to hold off, defending on the headquarters here, okay? So, you know, we basically know the 3 entrances they can get through. We got one back there in the back, you know, we got the one up there by the truck, and of course then you can come around that corner right there on either side of that wall from inside that one building. So, you know, it looks like we all got it and everything is good, and then all of a sudden, look at that. That guy snuck in there. I took him out after the fact, but, you know, a little too late. But, yeah, that guy snuck in there and snatched it from all of us. Nearly our whole team was standing there, and we didn't see this guy. But it was a good start anyway, and, you know, I don't think we let that happen again. Yeah, but, yeah, that guy was real slick, there's no doubt. And so I think we end up doing pretty well on this. I think we pull away. I think maybe we let them get one flag. It's pretty bad. Oh, and watch this. You know, I run a napalm here, and I forget whether this is one where I don't get any kills at all, and I'm like, come on. Yeah, look at that. No kills. Ridiculous. So that's my luck with napalm, you know. But anyway, so let's talk about, you know, the Call of Duty thing a little bit. You know, I got back into it for a while tonight. I kind of went against my my better judgment because I've kind of moved on to Crisis 2 from Call of Duty. And, you know, I'll probably continue to play Call of Duty off and on. But I really do have to be honest with you guys. After, you know, a lot of the things that I just don't like in the Treyarch engines for any of their games, honestly. The things that I like reared their ugly head again. And it's very frustrating, you know, some of the things that happen in the game that I just don't feel, you know, are valid, you know, valid events. Things like, you know, just weird lag and you know, some other things that that just doesn't feel right. I've talked about this before in one of the podcasts of Down the Scope, you know, where, you know, I'm kind of saying that something doesn't feel right in the game engine, where it just feels like they're almost like they're building in lag to the game somehow. So I don't know. Anyway, you know, I don't want to get off on that again if you guys already heard me talk about that. But Black Ops for me is extremely frustrating, and you know, I was an excellent player at Modern Warfare 2. I had, you know, almost no issues whatsoever. You know, with you know, the people I was playing with at the time, and you know, I just feel like after having it so good in that engine, you know, the Modern Warfare 2 engine, that's just very, very frustrating to you know, to go back to Black Ops, you know, which I think is just kind of World at War 2. You know, the funny thing about Black Ops is I really think the innovation and the game design by Treyarch is great. You know, I think it's actually better than Infinity Ward overall, but the game engine leaves a lot to be desired. They're just going to have to just see if something can be improved down the line. I hope anyway. So those mortars were a little too late. So anyway, you know what? Enough about all that. Let's talk about some other things that I've been wanting to go over a little bit here and there. You know, I get a ton of questions sent to me all the time through the channel, from everybody who watches and a lot of people who have been following me for quite some time. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I get so many questions that are very, very similar. Some are just, point blank questions about like, hey, what do you use to record, or how'd you get into this, or whatever. I wanted to take some time, since headquarters matches take a while. I wanted to take some time here to answer some of those questions. I've mentioned to a few people in private YouTube messages and stuff that I was going to answer some of these common questions I keep getting. So one of the things that people ask all the time is what to use for recording. And I highly, highly, highly recommend the Hauppauge HD-PVR. And the first off, the question I get all the time, does it do HDMI? No, it does not do HDMI. There's a little thing called HD-CP that is the security and the way that the signal is protected over a digital signal. And you can't really record over that, not to mention, trying to record the audio and all that. It's a little screwy. But HD-CP is you have to encode and decode, and, a box, you just don't have that ability in any recorder on the market right now. At some point, who knows, it's possible, but it's part of the way that digital signals come in. So this is why the Hauppauge and all others, Dazzle HD and any of the others, this is the reason you don't see HDMI connectors on it. Okay, this is not the manufacturers playing a joke on us. This is just not something that anybody can do right now. So you've got analog connectors. Well, here's the deal. Okay, the reason that the Hauppauge is a better choice than the Dazzle or any of the others out there right now, okay? The reason that it's so popular is it's a hardware encoder. Look at that. I swear to you, I never saw that guy with that tomahawk. I swear that tomahawk, it materialized out of thin air. Anyway, that's what I'm going to go with. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So anyway, oh, and look at this. This car happens to be bulletproof. Thanks, Treyarch. Anyway, the thing is, a hardware encoder does all the work for you, and that's what the Hauppauge does. Okay. Otherwise, you have to have a really nice, good PC to work with an HD Dazzle, or to work with some of the other recording devices out there. And frames can get dropped because of the speed of your hard drive, or if you've got another process running in the background. Maybe you're doing live comm recording as well. Anything can start to make your computer skip frames and have some problems along the way. The Hauppauge solves pretty much all of that. It does all of the encoding in the box itself, which is why it costs so much money. Okay, it's $200 I think is retail. You can get them for about $160 on a good day. These are all U.S. dollars for everybody outside of North America here. So anyway, the thing is, it's really the best overall solution. You can record on it and record directly to a laptop. All that it's doing, basically, it's doing all the work inside the Hauppauge, and it's transferring the file in real time over to your hard drive. That's how it works. A Dazzle is relying on the processor of your computer to do all the work for you. And, obviously anything else that might be going on your computer can slow it down and cause other problems and so forth. So anyway, that's one of the things. If you guys are interested in doing this, I know it's a chunk of money, okay? The Hauppauge is not cheap. But if you want to do it and you want to do it right, that's my recommendation. So, let's see, some of the other things that I get asked quite a bit. How did I get started? Everybody wants to know, oh boy, how did Anakinnnn get 3,500 subscribers? Well, that is strictly because I won a contest with NGT, Next Gen Tactics, and I've tried out for their contest, and I'd never done commentary before. My very first time, never even try it. I had some friends of mine kind of coax me into it a little bit, so I gave it a shot, and they chose me to be a director. And my time with NGT was fun, but like I said before, I had some disagreements with them about the way that things were running over there, and unfortunately, we couldn't come to terms. We couldn't see eye to eye, but there's no hard feelings. That's fine. So the the deal is how do you start a channel from scratch and get to be big? Well, that's a good question, gang. I think if there was a formula for that, there'd be people out there doing it. It takes a lot of work and a lot of promotion on your side. You got to advertise your channel like crazy in forums and become part of an organization if you can. Get your friends to tell everybody. Get your parents to subscribe. Get everybody to subscribe, and usually critical mass will draw more people in. Meaning, the more subscribers you can get, even if they're not good subscribers early on, the more that you can gain other people, because it's kind of like a crowd gathering. If one person is staring at the ground, nobody else is really going to stop and stare hardly. But if you got 10 people all staring at the ground, even if there's nothing there, I guarantee you more and more people are going to show up to stare at the ground trying to figure out what the heck is there. So that's the way YouTube kind of works. So it's just something to keep in mind. One of the other questions I get is about my live comm setup, and I'm going to do a video maybe later this week. I'm going to show you guys how I do my live comm recording, and it allows me to filter out anybody else speaking on the mic. This actually applies to the PS3 and the Xbox. The PC is pretty easy to record multiple channels and so forth, but I'm going to show you guys how to do that. I promised that a while back, and I just have not had the ability to get back to that. One of the other things that I'm going to cover here soon that I've been asked quite a bit is the tech support in regards to setting up your router and making sure you have an open NAT and all that. I am going to get back to that as well. That one's going to take a little bit of time for me to do because that's no small topic by any means. So I'm going to try to get to that this week. Some of the other questions that I get pretty regularly are what's the specs on my PC for rendering out. How do I become a director like you? How do I, what format do I post? There's all kinds of crazy things, okay? And a lot of it is, things that are just personal preference for me. Some of it is answerable just through plain old Google and stuff like that. I don't mind helping people out if you guys are having some difficulty trying to get, some questions answered. But one of the things that I do get asked a lot is how to be a director, and I just want to finish this video off with the idea of my theory on being a pretty good YouTube director. One of the first things is first of all, you really do just have to have the ability to talk. You have to talk well. You have to know what you're going to say, be able to handle yourself well on the mic. And, one thing, too, that you're either born with or you're not is just a decent voice. I've been fairly lucky in that. I did a lot of advertising, so I've used my voice for recordings and TV commercials and other things. And, that's not something that you can fix, okay? Especially if you're a young kid, trying to get a start on YouTube, and your voice may be a little squeaky or whatever, that's just something you're not going to be able to get around, gang. And don't be discouraged by it. It's just that you're gonna have to fight these shortcomings to be a good director. Some of the other things that you have to consider too is if you're not comfortable talking on a mic and keeping the audience's attention, you need to practice. You need to record yourself, 2 times, 5 times, 20 times, if that's what it takes to get a good recording. Sometimes it may require heavy edits. Let me tell you, you guys could probably tell. I don't think there's any secret in this. I don't edit my commentary. So what I say is exactly what you get. It is so rare that I actually go in and edit anything after the fact. I have a lot of experience being able to speak and know how long I can speak and wrap it up, which is why my commentary always ends right at the time that the video ends. That's not a coincidence. That's just me being able to do that. And you know, I always try to thank everybody and head out on the way as I'm watching my timeline. Which, by the way, I'm getting to that point. I do want to do a video that talks about, you know, Anakinn's theory on being a YouTube director, you know, being a successful YouTube director. And I am going to go over all the tips and tricks that I can share with you guys at some point, because this is coming to an end here. By the way, ooh, look at that score. That was, this kill cam right here is nasty, but look at this end score. I think you could say that we won 250 to 30. Ugh, nasty. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.